In a state where simple marijuana possession was just recently decriminalized, a potential tweak in marijuana laws could happen today at Virginia's special session.
Plus, a rare Oval Office meeting with the Fed chair amid the worst inflation we've seen in some 4 decades. Let's get in on these topics with WMAL host Larry O'Connor. Hey, Larry, good morning.
Hey.
Good morning, guys.
Looking spiffy today.
Thank you. Why are you surprised? Tucker Barnes has been sending me notes, and I got to keep up.
Well, full disclosure, it's like, 9,000 degrees out and plenty of humidity, and I didn't expect you to go with the full jacket today. So that's all. You look great.
Very, very chilly here. Thank you.
Hey, listen, I want to start with what's happening in Virginia right now, and I think that some people are using this as just, change in what could happen across the country. You pass a law, you decriminalize something, in this case marijuana, and then a new administration comes in and they tweak it. They make changes to it. So I don't know if it's more the issue of how much marijuana you can possess in Virginia, or if it's a question of, are we just going to keep moving the goalposts and changing the laws?
Yeah, listen, elections have consequences, and I think when people elect in a new government or a new governor or a new state legislature, they're going to have different takes on existing laws. That's understandable. I think that people do want some consistency within the state with regard to marijuana laws. I don't know. Listen, I've always sort of been libertarian on this issue. I think that pot's been around for a long time. We're not going to eliminate it. And I do like getting the criminal element out of marijuana usage, marijuana sales. However, I think it's fair to say over the last 10 years since we started legalizing marijuana, we have seen more and more problems. It hasn't alleviated the issues we were told it would alleviate. And you can look at the state of Colorado to sort of show that things haven't gotten better there. And they're not making all the money they told us they would make on taxing the marijuana sales. So I think that it's fair for lawmakers to say, hey, listen, if this isn't ideal and it's not working out, maybe we rethink it and maybe we can tweak this.
Yeah, for those wondering, by the way, this is making it a criminal misdemeanor for possession of more than 4 ounces of marijuana in public. That would be the possible change. Do you think, you mentioned that we're seeing more problems in some area. Do you think it's a matter of having not just laws, but laws that appropriately target those problems, or is there another solution on the table here?
Yeah, I honestly, I'm not really sure. I tend to lean toward, more freedom, more personal responsibility. I don't think prohibition ends up being the real solution here. The problem is those rights do need to come with responsible behavior. And I don't think we say enough in our culture about instilling that personal responsibility and making good judgments and making good decisions for young people. And I wish we spent as much time talking about that than we talk about, hey, go ahead and do whatever you want as long as it feels good. Yeah. All right, but, I'm just an old fogey at this point. Listen to me. My God. I've become my father. Help me, guys.
I think you might be getting a couple of amens, though, out there. I don't know if that's what I'm hearing. I do want to switch gears here and talk about something that's affecting a lot of people. We talked about inflation, the highest we've seen in 40 years. So there's this rare meeting that we saw with President Joe Biden and the Fed chair, Jerome Powell, talking about inflation. It's interesting because Joe Biden was essentially saying, he wants to maintain that independence from the Feds in terms of how they handle the economy, but also kind of alluding to it's their responsibility to manage this inflation. What did you make of that meeting?
Yeah, it is interesting, and especially since I think that the American people, we don't have a lot of confidence in our leaders right now, partly because President Biden a year ago, first of all, denied inflation was a problem. If there was inflation at all, it was transitory. Now, a year later, they're admitting, yeah, this is here and it's a problem. We have to fix it. This, though, is not without precedent. If you remember, well, you won't remember, but I barely remember Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan faced this kind of inflation in the early parts of his presidency, and he went to great lengths to try to influence the Fed. Paul Volcker, I believe, was the chairman at the time. And he had a lot of opinions about where we should be going with regard to rates and with regard to cushioning the blow here as we land off of this inflationary cycle that we're in right now. And that's really where the Fed can come in. This last increase, though, the highest since 2000, it hasn't done the trick. And we still have a problem here. Yeah. And it doesn't help that we don't have a whole lot of confidence that the leaders actually know what the problem is.
Yeah, and more increases to come. And then you're going to have more people complaining about the higher interest rates, and everything comes full circle eventually. But I think everybody would agree you have to do something at this point, because obviously the inflation is out of control. And it's such a key word and a buzzword. At this point, you can just throw the blame on anything on that. So the leadership, somebody has to do something about it.
The biggest problem here, I think, that it's a political liability for the Biden administration to admit what most people, even Vox, which is a publication that's pretty friendly to the Biden administration, they said, yeah, all of this stimulus money, all this printing of new money, all of this spending, that's contributing to inflation, because when you pump more money into the economy, it reduces the value of the dollar and the spending power, and prices start to go up to compensate. So first they have to admit that, yes, okay, maybe we needed this stimulus to get out of COVID, but yes, it has had negative repercussions. When they admit that, then maybe we can get on a path to fixing it.
Right.
Small boosts in the last week or so we'll see if that continues. And by boosts, I mean, doing better with inflation over the last week or so. We'll see if that continues.
Let's hope.
Thanks, Doug.